Well, here we are. This is at Papa's Mountain. You can reach me at bumpinthenight81@gmail.com. It's the first week of May 2025, and about time you began preparing for any outdoor adventures you have planned. First, let me say this. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm going to tell you the facts as I see them given my 65 years of playing in the wildlands. Thousands of miles I have traveled on foot in all types of weather and terrain. So you're lost. Thousands will be this year. And most will figure it out and self-extract themselves from the particular situation. For those that need help, have probably not prepared and planned for a being lost scenario. So, survival preparation and planning. We're going to call it P&P. Before you leave, where am I going and what do I need? Am I going to the deserts, the mountains, or the wetlands? The duration of trip, how many days, and the distance to and back from your destination. Important considerations: water and water purification, proper clothing and gear, check the weather, never go alone. Know your limitations, your physical and mental limitations. Be honest with yourself. It could save your life. If you do go alone, never go alone. If you do go alone, hey, you're human. I get it. Let someone know where you're going, even if you have company along on your adventure. Someone reliable. Seriously, this is important. It could save your life. Where are you starting? Trailhead, end of road, river crossing pullout, etc. How long are you going to be gone? When do you plan on being back? What's your destination? Where you're going? Endpoint, camp, lake, etc. Remember to contact the reliable person you advised of your adventure that you are safely back. Many times every year, people go into the outdoors for a short hike or an outing and are never seen again. Some are found alive or deceased by search and rescue crews, and their remains are found at a later date or not at all. This is preventable and simple to avoid. Don't be a statistic. Test your equipment. Footwear. Regardless of what you wear on your feet, break them in. Do not throw on a new pair and just go hiking. This is a recipe for pain and possibly extreme discomfort. Break in your footwear before you go. This holds true for your clothes. Day pack, fanny pack, or backpack. A raincoat is a lifesaver, but almost worthless if it's too small or it leaks. Don't be bashful about throwing on your gear and going for a walk on a sunny 70-degree day. Or when it's raining, snowing, or windy. This will enable you to evaluate your gear, and because you possibly could get all of these conditions in one day, depending on where you go. Check the weather. Check your gear to make sure it's functioning properly. Have you checked the batteries in your electronic to see if they're fully charged, if they're new, if they're fresh? Are they the correct size for the device? And do you have extras? Is your knife sharp? In some cases, do you have extra blades for your knife? My grandpa used to say on multiple occasions, a dull knife isn't a knife, it's just an expensive screwdriver. Check your water purification device. Is it clean and working properly? Check your survival kit to see if your lighter works and you have a spare and everything is in good repair and working order. Do you have enough toilet paper? Check everything at least once a season or after you've used something out of it. It's easy to lose small things out of your kit. Check everything you are planning on taking. Make a checklist of all the gear you carry and use it. I once spent 10 days sleeping on some plastic sheeting stuffed with meadow grass and moss because I forgot to take my sleeping pad. Adequate, but not fun. I would separate your gear into categories, such as sleeping, food, extra clothing, survival gear, rain gear, fishing and hunting gear, etc. You could separate gear by where it's located in your pack and how often you'll need it or use it for weight distribution to make your pack better balanced and comfortable. Evaluate your electronics. There are many types of electronic devices that can help you or guide you out of a "I'm lost" scenario. Your phone probably has an SOS feature, or you could download an app that has maps of the area you plan to visit. Also, the maps you download are viable even if you do not have cell service. In addition, your cell phone may have a compass built in or other features that could help determine your location. Pretty cool technology. Use it. We each have the right and freedom to express to others how we feel about certain issues. In this case, the purpose for my dissemination of knowledge is, hopefully, to save your life. Your responsibility is to make a choice that may be a life or death situation. Unless you choose to go into the wild, naked and covered with raw meat, to challenge the dominance of a grizzly or some other large carnivore, this information may help you. First, the most dangerous animal you will ever encounter in the outdoors, or anywhere else for that matter, is Homo sapiens, humans. By far, no question or debate. When a human hunts you, they are there to harm you. Period. The chance that you will encounter an individual that means you harm is probably 100 times higher than any other species. Why? Because any large carnivore will 999 times out of 1,000 run when they encounter you or your scent. You will probably never see them again. Why? Well, there are more large toothsome critters in and around these areas, and they are not hunted nor are they managed. Once they develop a familiarization with humans, dangerous animals will eventually lose their fear of you. When they learn that humans equal food and that humans scatter like quail when approached, this is not good. Someone determined that Mother Nature was the best management tool for national parks. But Mother Nature is one cruel lady. She's like the honey badger and just doesn't give a flip. This may be the solution in national parks, but animals do not recognize lines drawn on a map. They do what animals do. They propagate and they migrate. Where do they go, you might ask? Well, they wander into your backyard and into areas that you like to go for a hike or a picnic, ride your bike, or cast your favorite fly. You are asked by politicians to live with them. Take your chances. And if they do you harm a protected species, you'll be treated like a mass murderer and given the full width and breadth of the legal system. Now, this is just my opinion, but my loved ones, and your loved ones for that matter, will not be sacrificed because some political idiot and their minions think this is a good idea. An idiot that has probably never seen a grizzly bear, black bear, or cougar in the wild. Keep in mind that coyotes and bobcats have and will kill deer given the opportunity. And, as you have found out recently, river otters are not to be trifled with. Now, you can debate protection of young, hunger, injury, or a list of other minor circumstances that will determine attacks on humans by animals. Agreed. A high degree of attacks are due to these factors. So what? Are you willing to bet someone's life that an attack may be called off with just a swat and a bite, which could kill you instantly? No, not me. To get to the point, I would never recommend that you choose some type of bear spray as protection over a handgun. Bottom line is this: if you're walking somewhere and a human predator is stalking you, they glance at you and they see a handgun strapped to your belt, well, folks, the stalk is pretty much over. You think the bad guy would also be as deterred or concerned with a pepper spray dangling off your pack? Social media is crammed with situations that would fill a library where bad guys are sprayed and do not react in the slightest. Yes, some do. This all comes down to intent, drugs, mental disease, and physical conditions. Someone who is determined to do you harm in the out of doors is probably not in the same mental situation as a traffic stop that involves a moving violation. So, if you choose to own a handgun for protection, for any reason, learn to use it. Learn the safety rules and procedures and how to shoot said handgun. Like any tool, there's a learning curve, and one best taught by someone that knows how to teach the lesson. As a bonus, a handgun or a firearm makes a wonderful signaling device. Likewise, if you cannot envision yourself carrying a firearm for any kind, for any reason, at least gain knowledge of dangerous animals and their habitats, where you may encounter them, the time of year they have young, breeding seasons, and signs of their immediate presence. Please carry the big gulp of bear spray, maybe two, and please be aware of the wind direction. Spraying that stuff into the wind is a mistake you do not want to make. Trust me. Your body's reaction to those chemicals is violent and debilitating. Regardless, practice, practice, practice. Sacrifice a can or two for the experience. Spray with the wind and hope that the charging grizzly mother just happened to decide to attack you and your children with her face in the wind. So, despite all your careful preparation and planning, P&P, you're lost. Geez, what now? Sit down and calm down. You start running around shouting and tearing your clothes off, you're in serious trouble. Someone may hear you or see you running around bumping into trees. If so, you're lucky. When you get out of the hospital, buy a lottery ticket. Sit down and calm down. You've done your P&P, you're fine. Relax and breathe. Have a candy bar or one of those Wilderness Willy granola bars. I prefer Snickers. Love them. Unless you've been abducted by aliens and they plop you down in the middle of nowhere to see how you'll react, maybe place bets on how long you'll last. Throw a grizzly in the mix, mountain lion, or a lightning storm to make things more interesting, challenging. Otherwise, you'll be fine if you've done your P&B. P&P. Sit down and calm down. For example, Yellowstone National Park is approximately 50 by 60 miles, which is 3,000 square miles. Nowhere in the park are you more than 15 miles as the crow flies from a road system. And there are 1,000 miles of trails in the park. All the major rivers in the park drain into a road system, trail, or into a national forest road system. That means you are probably no more than 3 to 5 miles from a trail or road. And if you choose to follow a stream or river downstream or downriver, maybe a day's walk, there's no trail. But almost every year, someone gets lost and loses their life in our public grounds. Why? P&P. I've been to Yellowstone a couple of times, and most water parks intimidate me more. The average human with a 40-pound pack can walk 2 to 3 miles per hour. During the summer months, say June through September, you have at least 12 hours of daylight. If you walk for 10 of them, you should be able to easily cover at least 10 miles. Maybe 20 if you're in good shape. Did we cover the part about breaking in your shoes? I hope you were paying attention. Sure, we've all heard of individuals that can routinely run or walk long distances on trail systems. Awesome, and good for them. If you can do that, great. For those of you that don't or can't, you need to be more judicious. If you have your electronics with a map app, drop a waypoint, determine where you are, find an exit point, and walk out. Sounds simple. Maybe, maybe not. Most designated wildlands are just that: roadless, rugged, remote, or downright overwhelming. There may be large rivers, lakes, swamps, cliffs, dense forests, or large desert expanses. Know before you go. Never travel after dark unless you're on a trail or a road and are positive you know exactly where you're at and where you're going. Never go off trail or bushwhack after dark. You may end up paragliding without gliding. Believe me, when the sun goes down, it'll get slap dark. Definition of slap dark is so dark someone could slap you and you wouldn't see it coming. And it will come in a hurry. If the sun is touching the horizon, you have about half an hour before slap dark. I would recommend that if you're lost and the sun is setting, build a fire. Fire will be the most important thing you can do for your survival. Take your time. Hurry, but don't scurry. Everything you do from this point until you are either rescued or you rescue yourself should be deliberate and with purpose. Gather enough wood for the night and try to get as comfortable as you can. The second thing you should do once the fire is going and you're comfortable is turn off your cell phone and your flashlight. You may need them, and this is a bad time to subtract them from the survival equation. Look and listen. This is important. You may see a light in the distance or hear a vehicle on a road. If so, place an object such as a rock or a tree limb in the direction the light or sound is coming from in a line to where you're sitting. This could be your saving grace come daylight. Think about your situation. Am I going to get eaten by a big fuzzy? Will a tree follow me during the night? What's out there? Well, about the same things that are out there during daylight. You'll hear noises and chirps and chitters, thumps and snaps and bumps. Maybe an old rotten tree falling down, or the wind whistling through the trees. When I was young, the one that used to spook me the most was one tree rubbing against another. It's amazing the varied sounds those trees can make with the slightest wind. This is a mental game, one that you must win. Say to yourself, I'm going to win. I'm okay. There is nothing to be afraid of. Once you conquer your fear or trepidation of the dark, you win. It's amazing the amount of topics I see on social media about things you should be afraid of that are absolute horseshit. Sorry, I'm passionate about people who have made a profit trying to propagate stories about things, in my opinion, that do not exist. Things that actually prevent people from experiencing vast tracts of public land that were set aside for everyone to enjoy. Sure, there's a possibility you'll be awoke by a cub grizzly sniffing your pack at 2 a.m, or a starving cougar stumbling into you. But I think there's also the same chance you'll be hit in the head by a meteorite. You walk around with your eyes on the sky worrying about that meteorite? Same goes for cryptid creatures, ghosts, aliens, and other boogeymen. Common sense dictates they don't exist. Have you seen any clear pictures? Hands-on evidence? Groups of famous scientists standing around a little green body, or introducing the viewing audience to a proud and smiling Mork from Gork. Given the millions of people that go into the wildlands each year with high-powered rifles that could easily kill the largest land animal in existence, I doubt they're going to pass up being an instant multimillionaire by not shooting a Sasquatch. Look, I'm not lacking in compassion. Sometimes people see things that they cannot rationally explain, things that in their life experiences cannot equate to in reality. Maybe they see things because those things have been planted in their brains through stories and tales recently or from thousands of years in the past. Who wouldn't be intrigued to see an alien or to know unequivocally that they exist or have visited our planet? Maybe we're here because they are us. Who wouldn't want to see a ghost? For sure and certain. Okay, enough said. It's impossible for me to tell you exactly what to do when daylight comes. There are a million circumstances you could be in, and each may have a different solution. Let's assume you're not injured. You're alone. Never go alone. You have food and proper clothing. Your electronics are working, and you have located a trail that is north of you. As I said, most cell phones have a compass, and map apps have a compass built in that has a pointer on the map that will turn with you and point towards the trail. And these apps will work even if you do not have cell service. Did you remember to turn it off last night? Or did you watch YouTube videos all night? If you did, congratulations. You're obviously comfortable in the wildlands. If you didn't, no worries. If you do not have electronic aids, face the rising sun, raise your arms and extend them straight out from your body like a cross. Your left arm and hand will be pointing north. Hopefully, you have thought through your specific situation and come up with a plan, one that will enable you to leave the wildlands and return safely to your intended destination. I only have one suggestion. Go slow and be methodical. Spending the night in the wilds is an emotional experience and possibly not one that you would choose to repeat. This is the first video in my series on wildland survival. The purpose here is to advise or teach you economical and effective survival tools. I realize there are numerous alternative methods and techniques to choose from, so you get to decide their value to your personal situation. Successfully starting a fire in less than ideal conditions and other emergency scenario is my goal. If you want to try and start a fire by using a friction fire method, good for you, because it's kind of a fun experiment. But a true survival circumstance with borderline hypothermia setting in is probably not a good idea. This is true for many aspects of survival tools and techniques. Some are better, and some are probably not practical. The next video will cover basic survival tools and how to build a fire. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cool.